Michael Bennett stood at his kitchen window, watching the November rain streak down the glass. At 58, he'd learned that life rarely went according to plan. His small apartment above the hardware store wasn't much, but it was home. Just him and his 12-year-old son, Danny. Michael was a tall man with silver threading through his brown hair, his flannel shirt worn soft from years of washing. Deep lines around his eyes told stories of laughter and loss. His wife, Sarah, had passed 3 years ago, and since then, it had been just the two of them, making do on his warehouse salary. That evening, as Michael walked home from his shift, he noticed a young woman sitting on the bench outside the grocery store. She couldn't have been more than 23 or 24. Her clothes were expensive, he could tell that much, but she was soaked through, her long dark hair plastered to her face. She held a designer bag clutched against her chest, and even from a distance, he could see she was crying. Michael paused. His mother's voice echoed in his mind. "Never walk past someone in need, Michael. You might be the only kindness they see that day." He approached slowly, not wanting to startle her. "Miss, are you all right?" She looked up, her mascara running in black streams down her cheeks. I'm fine. Thank you." But she wasn't fine. Michael could see that clearly. "Listen, I don't mean to intrude, but it's getting cold. There's a diner around the corner. Can I buy you a cup of coffee? Sometimes a warm drink helps." The young woman, her name was Emily, she told him later, studied his face. Whatever she saw there must have reassured her, because she nodded. Over coffee, the story came out slowly. Emily had fled from her engagement party. Her father, a wealthy real estate developer, had arranged her marriage to a business associate. "I don't even know him," she whispered, wrapping her hands around the warm mug. I couldn't breathe in that room full of people celebrating a future I never chose." Michael listened. Really listened, the way he'd learned to do with Danny when his son needed to talk about missing his mother. He didn't offer advice or judgment. Sometimes people just needed someone to hear them. "I have nowhere to go," Emily finally admitted. "I left my phone at the venue. My credit cards. My father will track those. I know it sounds dramatic, but I just need one night to think clearly." Michael thought of Danny at home, probably doing his homework at the kitchen table. He thought of Sarah and what she would do. The answer was clear. "I have a couch," he said simply. "It's not fancy, but it's dry and warm. My son and we don't have much, but you're welcome to stay the night. Figure things out in the morning when your head's clearer." Emily's eyes filled with fresh tears. "You don't even know me." "No," Michael agreed. "But I know what it's like to feel lost. And I know my mother would haunt me if I left you out in the rain." At the apartment, Danny looked up from his math homework, surprised but not shocked. His father had always helped people, bringing groceries to old Mrs. Chen upstairs, fixing things for neighbors who couldn't afford repairs. "Danny, this is Emily. She's had a rough evening and needs a safe place to stay tonight." Danny, with all the earnest politeness Michael had tried to instill in him, simply said, "Do you like grilled cheese? Dad makes really good grilled cheese." That broke the tension. Emily laughed, really laughed, for the first time that evening. They shared a simple dinner. Emily asked Danny about school, and he told her about his science project on solar systems. Michael made tea and found clean sheets for the couch. They didn't pry into Emily's troubles. Instead, they treated her like a friend, like family, like someone who mattered beyond her circumstances. Before bed, Emily helped Danny with his math homework. She'd studied engineering before her father had insisted she join the family business. Michael watched them bent over the textbook together and felt that warm glow that comes from doing the right thing, no matter how small. The next morning, Emily was gone before they woke. On the kitchen table, she'd left a note in careful handwriting. "Thank you for reminding me that kindness still exists. You've given me the courage to choose my own path. With gratitude, Emily." Tucked under the note was $200, money they desperately needed, but money that made Michael uncomfortable nonetheless. 3 months passed. Winter gave way to early spring. Michael had almost forgotten about that rainy November night when a woman in a business suit appeared at the hardware store where he worked weekends for extra money. It took him a moment to recognize Emily. She looked different, confident, purposeful, her hair pulled back, her eyes bright. "Michael," she said, and her smile was genuine. "I've been looking for you." Over coffee, again at that same diner, Emily explained. She'd reconciled with her father, but on her own terms. She was running her own division of his company now, designing affordable housing. "You showed me that night what really matters," she said. "Not money or status, but human decency. Seeing how you and Danny lived, with so little but so much love, it changed my perspective." She slid an envelope across the table. Inside was a check that made Michael's hands shake. "I can't accept this," he said. "It's not charity," Emily replied gently. "It's a job offer. I need someone to oversee construction on my housing projects. Someone who understands what it means to stretch every dollar to make a house a home. Someone with integrity." She paused. "The salary comes with benefits, good ones. Danny could go to any college he wants." Michael's eyes filled with tears. He thought of Danny's dreams of becoming a doctor. He thought of Sarah, who would have loved this young woman's fierce determination. "I returned your money, by the way," Emily added softly. "I left it on your table the next day." "Well, I had someone deliver it. With interest." That made Michael laugh through his tears. He took the job. Not because of the money, though. That changed everything for him and Danny. He took it because Emily's vision reminded him of his own values, that everyone deserved a decent place to live, that kindness could be built into foundations and walls. Years later, when people asked Emily about her success, she always told the same story, about a rainy night, a stranger's kindness, and the reminder that the smallest gestures can change someone's entire life. And Michael, now retired and watching Danny graduate from medical school, often thought about that evening. He'd offered Emily a couch and a grilled cheese sandwich. She'd given him hope, but really, they'd given each other something more precious. The reminder that we're all connected, that compassion costs nothing, and that sometimes the people we help end up helping us in ways we never imagined. That's the real wisdom that comes with age. Understanding that kindness isn't a transaction. It's simply the right way to live.